Hey guys! Today I am reviewing The Hangman's Revolution by Eoin Colfer. This is book 2 of the W.A.R.P series, and, well, you guys know me. I'm a huge Eoin Colfer fan. Like, huge. Like, my first child is probably going to be named after him. Need I even point out the Eoin Colfer Shelf of Honor here? This is what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to confide in you guys. In preparing to write this review, I went on to Goodreads, and I was looking at other people's reviews of it. I know you're not really supposed to do that, but I did it. I don't know why. Sometimes I do it. And I saw a lot of complaints from people about how the characters don't have any depth or development. So, I do have to admit that this book is not perfect. There is not a whole lot of character development here. But I'm also okay with that, and I am a very, very pro-character development type of person. I mean, if you watch some of my reviews, you know that. And I think the reason that I am okay with this is that the characters have so much personality on the page. I know exactly who they are, that I don't really notice a lack of development because I get to see who they are in the situation. So I wouldn't agree that these characters don't really have any depth. Depth is basically personality. That's what it is. It's who the character is and whether or not it's portrayed well. And I think when we do get to go into these characters' heads, I think they do have depth. And they do have the personality, and the personality is portrayed well. And so I think that is the reason that I didn't have a problem with the fact that there's not a whole lot of character development in these books. So I know that it can be tough when you see a bunch of reviews that have very, very different opinions when you go from 5 and 4 stars to 1 stars in the reviews, and people are saying completely different things about it. I understand that. I understand the confusion. So I just wanted to clear that up, and that's why I'm giving this book a really high rating, even though there was that lack of character development, because I just didn't notice it. And it was a really good book. Oh my gosh, I love this book. W.A.R.P, the name of the series, stands for Witness Anonymous Relocation Program, so yeah, we're dealing with time travel. In The Hangman's Revolution especially, Colfer kind of turns the whole time travel concept, the whole time travel thing on its head, and I absolutely love it. Time travel is really, really hard to do, boys and girls, whether it's a book or a movie or a TV show or whatever, because everybody has their own opinions and their own theories about how it works. There are dozens of different kinds of theories out there on different types of time travel, and so you can't always, you can't please everybody. When you're doing a time travel story, you can't please everybody, because somebody's always going to say that that doesn't work. Or they're going to nitpick that this is going to cause some paradoxical thing and everything's going to be destroyed and the universe as we know it will no longer exist. And so there's always going to be that person, and Eoin Colfer totally anticipated that. Time travel causes chaos, and chaos doesn't follow your rules. That's why it's called chaos, dummy. Each chapter starts out with a similar quote from Professor Charles Smart, the inventor of time travel for this series, and I really loved the fact that Eoin Colfer didn't take the whole time travel thing, like, to a serious extreme. It's like he figured out exactly where people would start nitpicking about how theories wouldn't mash up or how something wouldn't work out just the way it was supposed to, and he basically said, yes, but that's the way it's going to work in this book, and this is the reason why, and only he would say it with, like, his totally suave and sophisticated Irish accent. And you have got to give the author props for that. He anticipated that people were going to have their predictable problems with time travel, and he made a reoccurring joke out of it. I love Eoin Colfer. He really is awesome that way. Now, that's not to say that Colfer skimps on the time travel stuff. It still works logically. He doesn't just brush aside the logistics of it with a time travel joke and, oh yeah, but that's not how it's going to work here. It actually makes sense and it works together, so it's not like a cheap version of time travel. So of the two major things that I love about this story, the way he handles the time travel is the first one. And the second one is auto malarkey. The king of the battering rams gang. I have loved this character ever since I first read him. in Colfer's novel, Airman. Malarkey was a carryover from Airman, and he appeared in the first book, The Reluctant Assassin, for just a small scene, and I was really disappointed when it was just a small scene, and then he is very heavily featured in this book, and I absolutely love him. I don't know why I love this character so much, I just do. He's witty, and he beats people up, and he is totally obsessed with his hair, and he's hilarious. I love him. He's a great character, and I was very, very, very excited to see that he had a big role in this book, and I will always love this book forever for that. The sequel was 5 times better than the first book, and I liked the first book. Now, unlike the first book, The Reluctant Assassin, which did take me quite a while to get into it, this book had me from page 1. It starts off with a bang, and it did not let up until the end. I absolutely loved what he did with the time travel. I mean, if you read the first book, it was a good book. It was a pretty good book. And you just kind of reading through it, and you're like, okay, this is like a total time travel book, and this is cool, and then, like, everybody goes back to their separate worlds, or their separate times, as it were, and this book is like, bam! That didn't go where you thought it was going to go, now did it? The one thing that didn't ring, like, 100% true for me was the villain. I actually thought he was kind of bland. He was a very calm and calculating, everything must be reasonable type of character, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I did like a lot of the minor villains, so that made up for it. Okay, so I have gushed enough. This is The Hangman's Revolution, Book 2 of the W.A.R.P series by Eoin Colfer, and I'm going to give this 5 stars because I enjoyed every single moment of it. Alright guys, I will see you next week.